channel PlantyPriness. My name is Ashley. Today we are going to be installing my Mars Hydro inline fan and carbon filter combo. I previously had, if you saw my first video on this inline fan and carbon filter combo, I unboxed it. I kind of talked a little bit about it. Showed you guys kind of like the features and the specs, the smart programming kind of digital screen that this fan has. And I talked about a little bit about why I am, putting this in my grow tent. So prior to this, I did have an iPower 4-inch inline fan carbon filter combo, and that was basically just like a starter fan that I used. This is my first grow tent. So I didn't want to put too much money into something until I learned a little bit about it, tested it out, figured out what would be good, what would be bad, what I'd like to upgrade, features that I would rather have, or features that I'd be okay without. So it's been maybe a little bit over a year now that I've used that fan, and it did the job, it did what I needed it to do, but I'm definitely ready for something a little more upgraded, something a little more advanced, and something that offers a little more features. This fan here does come with, like I mentioned, the digital smart programming, which lets the fan itself control the temperature and control the humidity. So that's what I really like about this fan. I'm really excited to get it all set up. So without any further ado, let's get this thing set up, get it running, and we'll see all the features that comes on the smart programming digital screen. Really quick before we get started, I am going to remain using the straps that I do have. I want to mention that this fan does not come with the installation products or materials, so you will need to purchase separately whatever you want to use to hang or install this fan. It does come with the ducting, it does come with the clamps, but you will need something, as you see right here, wires or straps to keep the fan hung. I am going to use, this is the only thing that I'm going to be using left over from my previous setup. I'm going to use the straps that I had for my iPower fan on my Mars Hydro fan. Also, it does, like I mentioned, it does come with the ducting and the clamps. It comes with 33 feet of ducting and 3 clamps. What you see here is not Mars Hydro. My fan unfortunately was missing the ducting and the clamps, so I had to purchase those separately. I was, though, because this is a sponsored video by Mars Hydro, I was reimbursed for that fee. But I just wanted to mention, the ducting and the clamps you see is not what you should expect with your fan. Yours may look a little bit different. So without any further ado, let's jump into this video, get this fan installed. I'm first going to get the fan up. It hangs, it has this little platform at the top, which you could either insert bars through, or for me, I'm going to be using this strap back here. I think the bars probably would fit through, but my bars have like a hook at the end, and I'm not sure if they would fit through there, which is one thing that I would probably like a little bit more about this fan, is if they left a little bit, even a ½ an inch would do the trick. But like I said, that is not a make or break for me. It probably would not be for most people, because simple solution, you throw a strap through there and it will be good to go. So I'm going to start by putting this up first, and then we'll move on to the ducting. So as you see marked on here, it does tell you which way the air blows. So the air blows out this end. So I want my fan to be facing where the air is going to blow out of the tent. Now, if you are setting this up, I also mentioned in my first video unboxing this, I want to use this fan. There's so many different ways you can use a filter and so many different setup options for filter and fan combination. I want to have my fan and my filter inside the grow tent. I want the air to filter through the carbon filter and take it out of the tent to release any extra temperature, any extra humidity, and any fumes or foul odors that may accumulate, especially from these semi-hydroponic plants. So we're going to have the airflow going out of the tent. those straps to hold the fan up. I do have, which I did use for my previous fan as well, I do have just these little command strips that are the Velcro sticky on both sides that I cut in half. I do use these. I stick them on the poles here at the top to keep the straps from sliding. That way the fan stays level, to keep the strap at each side of that little, I guess, flat attachment that they're kind of fed through. So I use these to keep them in place. Alright, now that the fan is up, we are going to move on to the ducting. Again, this is not the ducting that will come with your 4-inch Mars Hydro inline fan and filter combination, but we are going to move on. We're going to attach it to the side that the air blows out of, and with one of our clamps, and then we are going to feed it out the back of the tent through the hole provided to let air escape. We will then make sure we close this tightly to surround the edging. That way there's no temperature or humidity leaking out that we want to be keeping inside the tent. There we go. We have the ducting all set up. We have the fan all set up. All we need to do now is get the carbon filter attached, get this baby plugged in, and check out the intelligent programming. So for my filter, this is going to be, I think, the easiest part because I don't really have to like hold the ducting in place. The ducting, it's such a tight fit going over the fan. You have to really have your arms up there for, a good period of time and, get it around there nice and tight, and then screwing in the clamps. So this is basically just going to sit in these two straps that I have here. One side is going to go towards the top end. The other strap is going to go towards the bottom end to hold it level. I do have adjustable straps here. That way I can keep it also level with the fan. If it needs to go higher, I can raise it higher. If it needs to go lower, I can raise it lower. So definitely, now for the fan side, it doesn't matter. You can use, these are also adjustable because you feed them through, but they don't have to be adjustable. What's important is that you keep the fan and the filter level, so really only one side needs to adjust. That way you can have it sitting at the same height as the fan is. So we're just gonna get this put together real quick. Alright, so that does that. Now before we move on to plugging in our intelligent programming screen, I do want to mention that I guess I jinxed myself. I was like, oh, now we're just going to pop up the filter. That'll be the easy part. So the only thing I did not like about the installation of this fan is where these two pieces meet. They are so close, the openings are so close to being the same size that they don't fit in very nicely. Like, it's so tight that it was kind of hard to overlap one over the other enough to hold it in place till I could tighten the clamp. So it did take me a minute. I had to have my mom come in and help me and push this while I held the fan. That way we could get it snug on there enough to stay that we could tighten the clamp. So now that it's on, that tight fit, I think, you know, is great for air leaks, but as far as the installation goes, that did make it very difficult. And I definitely needed help to do it. I couldn't get it on there tight enough to stay, or on there enough, like it barely overlaps one another. So I couldn't get it on there enough to even tighten up the clamp by myself. So just something I wanted to throw in there really quick that I noticed that I wanted to share with you guys. Now that that's out of the way, let's get this plugged in. This is what I'm very excited to try out, what I am most looking forward to about this fan. So we will take the plastic off, and I will just give you an overview of what this looks like. You have all your features here. You have your main button where it shows, you know, your icons over here, your up and down for the temp, the humidity. Not sure what this leaf button does yet, as I mentioned in my unboxing video, but we are going to find out in a moment here. So this is really easy to get set up. You come with two ports here. One of them is for the sensory, where you have this little gauge at the bottom that kind of detects the humidity and the heat. It does come with a little, I don't know what these things are called, suction cup to suction to a pole or put somewhere. That way it's not just dangling, which actually I really like that. So you're going to plug the sensor into the part that says sensor, which if you're looking at it is on your left hand side. And then on the opposite side there's two outputs, output 1, output 2. You can hook two fans up to this screen, which is also another awesome feature. For my use, I only need one fan, but I think that's awesome that you can use this for two. Even if, say you had two separate grow tents sitting right next to each other, you could put your fan somewhere where it's kind of closer to the door, so you can even slip this out and hanging in between the two tents to monitor both of your environments going on in two tents. I really like that. I think that's really neat. Maybe one day I will be fortunate enough to have enough rare plants that need a lot of humidity that I will have two grow tents. We'll see. But for now, let's get this set up. I can't wait to get this turned on, so we're going to do that really quick. For a secondary wire that goes into the fan and into the digital screen, both sides are the same, so they're interchangeable. You can plug them either or, it doesn't matter. So you're plugging one into your output 1, and then we're plugging the second one. There's a piece that's right here on the side that this box is on. You're plugging the other one into there. Our screen is all set up. I will definitely, after this video, get these wires arranged once I figure out where I'm going to put this. This does also have two little sides on either side where you could feed a string through and kind of tie up somewhere. It also does have little, like on picture frames and stuff, you can like put a screw in and put it onto the wall and kind of slide it down and it hangs there. So there are definitely, even like a little eye hook. Eye hook would probably fit up in these two little holes or on either side. So there is a lot of options to hang this up. For now, like I said, I'm just probably going to leave it sitting here till I figure out what I'm going to do, where I'm going to put this, and, you know, we'll figure out the wires later, but I really want to show this to you guys. So we're going to plug the fan in and turn her on. This is the exciting part. Here we go. So immediately when I plug the fan in, I have the screen lights up. It is currently 71 degrees Fahrenheit. Now the fan just turned on as well. We're gonna give or take the temperature a little bit because it's going down at 70. It might not be registering properly. Also right now I just had this hanging here so it's not, you know, touching the floor. But it's also right under the light, so it may be registering a little hotter than it actually is in the temp, being that the light is beating down right on it. I will put that in a proper place as well. So that's another thing. You want to make sure that your sensor isn't, you know, right on top of your humidifier. if you have one in your grow tent, or right under your light, because that will kind of give it a little bit of a false reading. It may not be, you know, too Jurassic. It may only be, you know, 1 to 5 degrees or 1 to 5% humidity, you know, off, because obviously it's not going to affect it that much. But if you want the closest accurate reading you can get, you just want to make sure you have it placed somewhere where nothing is going to affect the way that it senses and reads. So in the middle here, I kind of talked about this in my unboxing video, but right in the middle you have your relative temperature. Up in the, if you're looking at the screen in the right hand corner, you have your relative humidity, you have your fan speed, the setting that it's on. It says setting number 7. On my left hand side at the top here, it just says on. So I'm going to press this button right here with the 3 lines, and that turns the fan off. If I press it again, it sets it on a timer, and I can then press the up and down button to set it. So now as I'm pressing the up and down button, it is going up, I believe, by the hour. So it goes up to 10, it goes up every hour. It's not the hour, it's the minute. So it goes up to 10 minutes. It then goes up to, skips right to 20, right to 30, right to 40, 50, and then 1 hour, and it's still going up. So you can set this on a timer. It looks like it has a wide range of timing that you can choose to set this on, which is nice. I'm not going to set mine on a timer. I want mine to be specific to the humidity and the temperature that's in my grow tent. That's what I want to control. Another great thing about, you know, having this display here, this intelligent programming, is that prior to getting this fan, I was running my fan based on a time limit, and I had it plugged into one of those, you know, like smart plugs where, you know, you can turn it off and on based on a timer. Like you can set the timer that way, because the fan I had didn't have a timer. But, you know, so I was running it for a good portion of the day. Now, this could also work the other way, but I may have been running it more than it needed to be ran. So having this will only run it for the time that it needs to be ran for it to achieve the environment inside the grow tent that I would like it to achieve, which is a great thing, because like I said, if I was running it too long, that's great. It will run a little bit shorter, which will definitely save in the long run on my electric bill. So we got the timer. If I press this button again, it shows your temp settings on the side here. So right now it's dotted high temp, below that's low temp, high humidity, low humidity. So you can change it. If you continue to press that button, it will cipher through all the settings, high temp, low temp, and then you get to an alarm setting, which alarms you if the temperature gets too high. I'm going to assume it probably will beep. Again, I will be doing other videos on this, so, you know, if I notice something like that, I will definitely talk about it in the next video. But you can be alarmed if it's too high of a humidity, too low of a humidity, too high of a temperature, too low of a temperature, which that's really cool. Let's see, if I press the leaf button just turns off the display. So press it once, it's on, press it again, it's off. Okay, so now if I just press these buttons when I'm just on the on setting, so over on this 3-line button, if it's just on, when I press the, that was the leaf button. When I press these up and down buttons, it changes the setting number down here. I'm not quite sure what that does, because there's 0 through 10 different settings, because I need to read the manual. So again, that's something we'll discuss in another video. I just heard the fan get a little lower, so it sounds like it has something to do with the way the fan is running. Okay, so as I'm pressing this, when I'm ciphering through the different temperatures, right now I have it on high humidity. Right now I'm setting what I want the highest humidity to be. So I want the highest humidity to be 80%. I'm going to press the button one more time to get to the low humidity. I want the lowest humidity to be 65%. So that means anytime it reaches above 80%, my fan will turn on to suck that extra humidity out. Anytime my grow tent reaches below that 65% humidity, my fan will turn off, so that way there can be more humidity in the grow tent. So I also have a humidifier down here. I have my humidifier set for 65% humidity. So that will kind of, if it ever dips below that, that will make it so the humidifier then turns on to boost up the humidity. And then it will kind of work in conjunction with the fan to keep it between 65 and 80% humidity, which is great. So then again, if we go back to high temp, low temp, I can set what I want my high temperature to be. So I want my high temperature to be at the highest, I'm going to go 80 degrees. At the lowest, I want my temperature to be 65 degrees. So again, same with the humidity. If it goes below, dips below, it'll turn off. If it goes above, it'll turn on. So now another thing really quick I just want to mention, while we're on this screen, wherever the dot is, I don't know if automatically if it will do both. I mean, how can it? If the temperature is too low, but the humidity is right, the fan is not going to know what to do. So I think wherever you have this set is what it will control. Right now it's on temperature. So I think for now I'm going to keep it on high temp because I don't want, I doubt the temperature will really dip too low. I don't want it to get too high. So I have the fan setting, you know, when it reaches that high temperature. Also, I do have the humidifier to control the humidity in here, so I'm not too worried about that. So we'll experiment with this a little bit. I'm going to do some more research in between here and the next video so I can give you guys a little bit more information on the smart programming of this fan. So far, I really like it. The installation was, you know, I would say pretty normal, as in whether it was hard or easy to install. I would say it's consistent with what any fan would be. It was generally pretty easy. It did take a minimal amount of labor, but again, that fitting for the fan and the filter was a little tough to get in there. I did need an extra hand to do that. Other than that, I love it. I'm excited to try it, see how it goes. We're going to get these wires sorted out, get this put somewhere safe so it's not getting affected by the light, and we'll see how it runs for my plants. The link for this fan will be in the description down below if you are interested. Definitely check this out. They do sell on Amazon. They do have their own website, so you can find this fan along with many other products down in the description below. Thank you again for joining me in another video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're interested in the content I provide. And as always, every plant's a princess. Bye!